Hey guys, Chrissy here from Chrissy M Tarot, here to deliver you an energetic update for Halloween season 2022 and well beyond. I think these energies last right through to the end of the year. I'm not gonna lie, we're in a bit of a danger zone right now, and these are very challenging energies around us, so I'm going to try to deliver these as positively as I can. I titled this particular tarotscope, "Before you can kill the monster, you have to say its name." A quote by Terry Pratchett that I think is very fitting for the time period that we're in right now. We are going to be recognizing and dealing with some of the shadows, hidden enemies, and issues in our lives. And in order to deal with them, we have to be A, aware of what they are, and B, clear on what to do about them. So let's take a look at what we have. Tarot has us focusing on monsters, shadows, demons, and darkness this Halloween season. This is both in our personal lives and in the world. We're focusing on the injustices and the unfairness in our relationships, partnerships, and politics. It's very important that right now we stay very awake and aware of any attempts at manipulation, scams, and corruption. Truth reveals the darkness we are currently dealing with. We may find that we have already been manipulated in these areas. Health, commodities, legal issues, laws, corruption, and war are all taking focus. We realize the truth of matters, which is the positive. So we become clear and are motivated to start taking action to break free from the chains that are binding us. Devil makes his appearance as the theme for our tarotscope. Appropriately timed for Halloween, it suggests that the demons in our personal lives and the evil in the world is going to make itself known. The devil will try to flex its muscle using manipulation, fear, and power over us. It also alludes to events outside of our personal control and warns us of danger. The devil could use manipulative control measures by withholding things valuable to us. This could include resources and commodities, restricting movements in our personal freedoms, or manipulating finances, or even just situations. This is a time to be very careful, as we could be baited into playing the fool or falling into traps because the devil likes to play on our emotional weaknesses. The devil warns us of danger. With that said, aside from the manipulation of commodities and control, we could be baited into fighting each other for resources or even worse, into war. This can also refer to social evil and includes issues of oppression, discrimination, enslavement, depression, and famine. The devil sometimes wears a suit and tie and can represent corporate and political greed and corruption. With devil as the theme, this indicates that greed and selfishness are the key problems to many of the issues we are facing currently. And the people pulling the chains are masters at manipulation. All of this will probably be exposed at this time. We may not have initially recognized the demons we are dealing with, both in our personal and collective lives, but we will eventually see them for what they are because they're no longer hiding. Some of us have already been shining a light of awareness on the monsters that lurk in the dark. But there will be sudden events and information that surface to force us into acknowledging what we are dealing with and where the problems lie. Looking at the devil more personally, couples that are realizing their relationships are in the toilet could find that their partners are using assets or even children as pawns to manipulate the other party to stay in the toxic bond or to make it difficult to leave. There could be outside factors that make it difficult to make the actual break from the relationship or situationship at this time. In other types of situations or relationships, we find the theme of feeling enslaved to something outside of our control. This could include issues with other people, our health, our finances, living arrangements, jobs, unfair events, or our own self-limiting fears and beliefs. For those in healthier relationships, there could be changes that are causing some pressure on the relationship, a reminder that maybe some things need some work. In the work sector, employers and bosses may play dirty, manipulating our time, money, and efforts to keep us trapped or slaves to the job. This may be conscious or unconscious, but it's definitely a shit rolls downhill effect of the economy. Business partnerships may also be suffering right now. A strong word of caution: con men are everywhere. Be very careful of who you are dealing with. Be particularly careful of people taking advantage of those in sensitive situations or in dire straits. Examples would be the hurricane victims and our elderly. Be very mindful that con men sometimes come dressed as the people we trust in our lives. We may find that the people that we held on a pedestal are the ones who betray us. For those who are single, be careful of narcissists looming their ugly heads. They're looking to add you to their list of potential supply. Remember, the devil likes to lurk in the dark and play on our emotional weaknesses. Furthermore, if a new potential partner comes in, he or she may come in with a lot of baggage, including divorce in progress, a disgruntled or manipulative ex, some assets that are twisted up. Just know what you're getting involved with, because this person may not be completely free from their situationship, the one we spoke of earlier. It's not necessarily a deal breaker, but it could cause for a little dysfunction or turbulence for a little while. Next, we have the helping hand of the Ace of Swords. Our saving grace is the Ace of Swords. That's telling us the truth is coming out about all the dark secrets, agendas, and evil doings of the devil. It's shining a light of awareness on where the issues lie. Anything that has been hiding in the dark will be cast in light with the sword of truth. The beauty is that we are now ready to confront these issues. The Ace of Swords says we've had enough of the bullshit. We're now very aware of what the problems are and ready to focus on them. As a caution, this can be a sort of conflict, but in this position, it tells us we are going to face the devil head on by holding a mirror of truth, using our weapons, mostly our intellect, being brave, and by coming up with solutions and ideas on how to be victorious to conquer the dangerous demons that are giving us the problems. Basically, facing our issues head on. The Ace of Swords is like a call to action in a smart, intelligent, logical way. It encourages innovative thinking and creative solutions. It's a plan to move forward after a moment of truth jolts us awake. We now have answers and realize what we need to do and feel confident about moving forward. Personally, this could mean we finally decide to leave that toxic relationship and feel certain about it. We may get hit with a sudden realization or find out a difficult truth about our partners. Now, although we may not be able to take complete action to leave at this time, we know we have to start implementing ideas to move forward. At least there is no more doubt. What we may have to do is start coming up with strategies on dealing with that toxic partner we are with, including seeking legal advice and having difficult conversations. In healthier relationships, it may be time to have honest conversations and come up with creative ideas on how to help fix the relationship. In business partnerships, similar issues could arise, and it may be time to do the same, fix or dissolve the situation. From an individual perspective, we could just be dealing with our own personal demons and recognizing that we're ready to face them. Medically speaking, this could suggest we find answers to questions and possible solutions. However, on the flip side, it could suggest that we are up against some challenges. Bringing us to the problem, justice. With justice as our challenge, it recognizes that things are going to be unfair or unjust at this time. Manipulation, lies, and abuse of power in both our personal and worldly situations may occur. This is a card of karma, and in this position, it may indicate we are on the receiving end of some unfair actions or situations. This could allude to news or events that feel unfair or unjust. Although the Ace brings us the truth that we so desperately need, justice as a challenge tells us that the truth might be painful to accept. This also tells us there is no peace or harmony. We will be having to come to terms with unfair circumstances. And if we have been lying to ourselves about situations, we may have to come to terms with those as well. Furthermore, this could allude to actions that wound integrity and cause distrust. Balance between society and individual rights are not aligned. The devil has taken over the court system as laws could become unfair, unjust, and rights are overlooked. There is no way to find balance right now. Unfortunately, we may find that the whole system is corrupt, and laws, rules, and regulations that have been forced upon us have been done so unfairly. During this time, We may find that the powers that be are more committed to following rules in law than they are to doing what's actually right and moral. We may be on the receiving end of unfair treatment as a country, meaning something happens that disrupts our peace and causes upset and conflict. This is a bad omen for anything in the courts right now, as things will probably not go as planned or come up with fair or just verdicts. Meaning, some people may not be held accountable for the things that they have done wrong. We could see issues arise in our military and within our police sectors. Again, court decisions could either be delayed or unfair. And in regards of relationships dissolving, we could see that there is an imbalance or an unfairness to one or even both parties involved. So to briefly summarize, collectively, I think we're about to discover that there is a lot of corruption in the world, specifically with our politicians and leaders. Truth of situations are going to come out. However, it's unlikely that these people will take accountability for what they've done. Corruption that gets exposed right now will include key political figures. It will also include those who make rules, laws, regulations, so it could be more at the local level too, but I think it's going to include some of the higher agencies like the FDA, the CIA, the CDC, etc., etc. Truth will be exposed in the medical community and in the pharmaceutical industry, as we will realize we were not given all the facts with certain choices that we were forced to make over the last few years. Aside from finding our politicians have been doing the works of the devil, we will continue to have issues with food supplies, commodity, money, and possibly war. Personally, we're going to be facing the demons in our own lives. These include our own shadows and situations and people in our lives that maybe have been dishonest with us, or maybe we've been dishonest with ourselves, but we're now seeing things clearly and know what we need to do in regards to these situations. So what do we do and where do we go from here? Well, let's take a look at the cards to find out. The Devil card confirms there are indeed monsters, darkness, and demons that we need to face, and these demons are not going anywhere until we do. It also reminds us to make sure we know just who our demons are, so we're not wasting time battling the wrong things or even people. Justice tells us that things may have been or are unfair, but we need to take the lesson and try to look at things differently to move forward. Furthermore, it recommends we stand in the light of truth and act out of a place of practicality and logic versus emotion. Justice tells us that it's time to take accountability and responsibility for our choices and decisions. It also reminds us to use our moral compass when making any further or future choices and decisions. Also, a great reminder that we make sure justice is served when we are talking about those who have broken the law or have done us harm. The Ace of Swords says, "Fear not." It's time to pick up the weapon and battle the demons in our lives, especially now that we can clearly see what they are and know the actions we need to take. It's time to shine a light of awareness on things that have been lurking in the dark, and it's time to get clear on the direction we are going forward. We will come up with creative solutions and ideas on how to confront the monsters that we now are ready to face. It tells us to arm ourselves, because the battle is about to begin.